Well, hi, I'm Kurt. I'm here today with Tina at 4Sight Construction. Tina, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks.
Awesome.
How about you?
I'm just dandy. What can I say?
Hey, we got through the weather this morning. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Yarco companies, 4Sight, they've been a customer of ours now for 25 years. And, you know, I've watched the company go through different iterations of software and so forth. And I know you've been around the Sage product line for a long time too. How long have you worked with Sage?
I've been with Sage since probably 95.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a long time. Yes.
So you started probably with what now is called Sage 300. Is that correct? Or would Timberline Gold? Yeah, Timberline Gold back in that time. So what kind of got you to the point where you said, "Hey, let's move to Sage Intacct Construction"? What happened to make that kind of come together?
Just because we thought we were in the dinosaur ages with that, because just the ability to have everything that you need in one place, you know, all online, all on, you know, the cloud is so much better than.
Do you guys have a need for like remote access where people need to get in remotely? Is that a common thing here?
Well, I don't know if I should say, but yes, because I do travel to Europe once a year for a month, so I'm able to work from there. So, and some will work remotely. Justin will a little bit when needed. It's nice to be able to do that. It's not huge, but it is nice.
It's there if you need it.
Yes.
Other than being kind of a legacy software system in Sage 300. Were there other things you were looking to solve for, other kind of pain points or any issues you were looking to solve for with Sage Intacct?
I think mainly is having everything in one location so we could scan everything there. The reporting, we just needed better reporting and accessibility for all that. And I think, more user-friendly for the PMs too.
Yeah, and do you find your PMs using Sage Intacct?
They love it actually.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, surprisingly.
They should. Well, oftentimes, project managers don't get into your financial management software. That's a very common thing.
And they never did with 300.
Right. And yeah, well, I won't say anymore.
But it is nice. They do like to input their own invoices because it gives them a better overall picture when they're actually doing hands-on and not just signing off on it.
Right. Do you find does Sage Intacct, is it more streamlined, like faster to use? Let's say you're at a month-end close or something like that. Do you find it speeds that kind of process up?
Well, Justin would be the one to answer the month-end close part of it, but as far as you get a kick out of this, faster as in just like invoice entry, no, because I was the type in 300 where, you do everything keystroke. You don't have to use your mouse. And I knew, okay, I got to do this, return 3 times, do this, return 10 times. I was so ahead of the game, I had to wait on it back in the day. It's like, I got to wait for it to catch up.
Right. Yep.
But that part, is a little bit slower, but overall not bad, at all.
So, I'm just kind of curious if you have had anything. It's like, okay, this used to take me a day. Now it takes me, an hour or something.
It is like that, especially with my draw now that I got Velixo.
Oh, yeah. So tell me about that.
Because it condenses my time way down because I don't have to gather and pull up all my backup. Before, I had to go to our server. I had to go to each folder, pull out all the invoices that were in my draw. And sometimes it's 300 to 400 pages. So now I just push a button with Velixo and I have it like this. And then I just have to go through and tweak it some because the way I have it, I've got like at the top telling where on the schedule of values, like this invoice goes to line 8 on the schedule of values, and here's the amount. So if I have a pay app that may be 4 or 5 pages, it does that on each page. So just to keep it clean, I just take that heading off the first 3 pages and have it on the last page. But it saves me a ton of time. It's incredible.
I mean, how long was it taking you before and how?
To do that part of it, it could take me a couple hours. And now it takes me maybe 20 minutes to clean it up.
Yeah. So a pretty big increase.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Huge.
So
yes.
Great.
Yes.
So I know you've implemented like Sage 300 or back in the day and all that kind of stuff. How would you compare the deployment process versus, kind of the old way of doing things with, just a single consultant and so forth? What was your experience there?
Much easier, actually, because, you're kind of at the mercy of their schedule when they can come and then sit down, and you may not even be at a point in your schedule where I really got time for this, but I got to make time because this is, what's scheduled, if you will. Yeah. So, and then you may forget something and you have no video or anything of it. You're just hoping you took a note. Sometimes good notes are hard to come by, yes. And those crazy manuals that used to come with it were like horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
On the Timberline. In fact, I think I still have those somewhere. I may have finally pitched them. But that's what's nice about the deployment on the Intacct side that you guys have done, is you can go back and refer to it when needed.
Well, and you can't do it anytime. So it's always there. You can log on whenever you find the time to do so. That's exactly what we build it for. And there's a couple of other reasons. One is kind of what I think of as rework, which is what you're talking about. Maybe you had a session and things get in the way. You don't get back to it for a couple of weeks. You're trying to remember, okay, what did we do? Where am I at? What's next? Oftentimes, you're going to have somebody back in, and now you're going to redo 50, 60% of what you did the last time you did. You're paying for that. So we're kind of like, well, let's make it always available so that if somebody finds themselves in that situation, you can always go back and refer to it. And no extra cost. You don't have to arrange a schedule or anything like that. So did we hit the mark when we? You
hit the mark.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. I don't know what gave you that idea, but that's a great idea.
Well, what gave us the idea is just watching customers struggle. So in the old way, like you guys, you can look at a construction project and be pretty accurate with your estimate, right? Because you know when the labor is going to show up in your subs, and what your materials cost and all that. Well, with us in the old one-to-one consulting methodology, I could look at you and say, well, based on my experience, I think it's going to take 150 hours for you to get up to speed. Okay. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay, because I don't know a number of things.
Right.
I don't know how overworked you already are.
Right.
I don't know that. I don't know what your time availability is exactly. I don't know how quickly you will learn. Now you're sharp, but anyway.
No, I know. I get it. Yeah.
There's so many things. There's so many variables I don't know, and I can't dictate to you what to do. I can't say, Tina, you're going to work on this all day today. You're going to say, yeah. Okay. Nice suggestion, Kurt. See you later. Yeah. So there's so many things out of our control, and so what we saw happening was customers would fall behind. They would inevitably go over budget. They would inevitably go out way beyond their schedule, and they'd be really unhappy. And we're not about unhappy customers here. We're about having happy customers. So we're like, how do we solve for that? And that's where all the ball got rolling on Banger deployment. So that, and not only that, in the old way, I'd quote you a number. You'd have that number in your mind. Okay, you said it was going to be X. In the end, it ends up being X times 1.7. And you're going to say, wait a minute, how did this go so far over budget? Well, that's not a conversation that either one of us really wants to have.
Right.
Right. So we decided, let's make sure that people know exactly what it's going to cost in advance. Was that something that you liked?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You knew you were never going to pay anymore.
Sure. Exactly. Yep.
So, because then it takes a lot of the stress out of the whole thing. First of all, we de-stress it by, you don't have to worry about the schedule all the time. You're in control.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about the budget because you already know what that is.
Right.
And now let's just get going.
Right. A lot easier to sell it to the president to give us the go-ahead too.
Sure.
Here's the dollars. This is it. Can we go?
Yeah. Because software implementations they represent a risk for a contractor because they can go for so long and they can go way over budget and they can fail. I mean, which means you're out of pocket all of that stuff, all the time and disruption, because the cost to a company is as much about how disrupted you are as it is the quote you get, what you're paying for the software and services.
Right.
Did you find you were able to work it in with your normal day-to-day and not be exceptionally disrupted? It's always going to be somewhat disrupted, but...
Right. It was actually a good time for us because we were a little bit slow at the time, waiting for a couple of these jobs we thought were going to start, and they took a little longer to get started. So it was actually a really good time. So for the most part, I was able to touch it every day, every other day, a little bit. So that was helpful. So
if you were talking to another Sage 300 user and they're like, yeah, we don't know. We're not sure we should look at it. What would you tell them?
I'd say you're crazy. Don't wait any longer because of what it saves, I mean, in the end, it does. It saves so much time, Of course, you got the learning process, but with, as you do with anything, but it saves so much time in the end.
So what's now Sage 300, what used to be Timberline, that product was released in October of 1992. So it's 33 years old now, or nearly. All right. Do you use any other 33-year-old piece of equipment in your company that you're aware of?
Not that I know of. Nope.
Do you have 33-year-old pickup trucks?
Nope.
Actually, that might be a good thing, but nevertheless.
You're right.
So few do, but yet they continue on with the older technology.
Right.
It functions. It works, right? 300 works. We don't have to argue that.
And it was a good product for its time. It was great.
It was a good product for its time. It's an excellent product for its time. In fact, still actually is the most widely used construction software out there. Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
But
slowly moving.
At some point in time, we are so far advanced technology-wise today that I just tell customers you gotta go. What do you think?
I would agree for sure.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Pull the trigger now.
Yeah. It ain't getting any younger.
Exactly.
Just like me. All right.